Good evening, Merch Hunter Ricky back, and we are talking about the strength of the Giants in comparison to the strength of the world government. In my opinion, after reading all of Egghead Island over again, just from where Dorian Broggy and the new giant, or the giant pirate crew, is that just their name? The giant pirate crew began their attack on the Marine. I call it the Grand Buster Call because it's like the strength of 10 Buster Calls. When they attack the Grand Buster Call, we immediately see an extreme different wow, am I Mike Tyson? Difference in strength from a random unnamed giant warrior pirate to an entire Marine battleship. You know what I mean? Like, think of the resources that go behind a singular Buster Call. That's 10 Marine battleships with 10 Vice Admirals, right? And then whatever else they bring. Now think of that times 10 with with all the Gorosei, an admiral, and what they had. I think they still just had 10 vice admirals. They just brought 100 ships. And when you think about it, that was really dumb of them. But anyways, one unnamed giant, who I think I'm going to throw up some pictures of him. He is the lookout, from what it looks like, of the new giant, of the giant warrior pirates. He is using what looks like two little pistols, and like the damage he's doing to the Marine battleships is like immeasurable. He's like destroying like multiple of them at once. Another giant, I'll throw up another picture of that. Another giant just throws a singular arrow, like one arrow, and it goes through an entire Marine battleship. One whole arrow went through one whole Marine battleship. Like, that's like the stark difference in strength. That's why, like, if you really go back in Egghead and look at all of the giant warrior pirates, they are all smiling and they are so unserious for the entire, like, dude, like, it's the world kind of mini ending right now and you guys are laughing. Like, it's amazing. Omo and Kashi, they share my literal favorite panel in Egghead. I'm gonna put it up for a second. It's so good. It's basically after Kashi has been attacked by Vice Admiral Dahl. She says some weird shit to him. She's like, I'm gonna put a hole in you. After Kashi talks about like seeing how like a hole was almost put in the ship, she like hits him with her rock and roll something. And the next time we see Kashi and OMO after Kashi gets hit by Vice Admiral Dahl, Kashi is like all woozy, and Omo is just laughing at him. It's amazing. He's like, dude, she whooped your ass. I love that. That's my favorite panel. Dude, like, it's literally the end of the world and you're laughing at your friend for getting dogged. It ruins the Vice Admiral's credibility, unfortunately. Another thing we saw, my battle axe is actually across the room. I'll just throw in a clip of me getting it later. But Vice Admiral Tosa went in to attack like Bonnie or Frankie or someone like that. And like Dory or Broggy, I think it was Broggy. Broggy just smacked him with the flat side of his axe and kept it moving. Now we do see that Tosa survived that, but again, just relative strength of like one giant is literally 1/10 of a Buster Call, let alone a seasoned giant like the giant warrior pirates, because these guys, it didn't seem like they took any casualties at all. Like 3 of them, well, okay, if we were to start talking about what they do to the Gorosei, like, you know, we got Dorian Broggy just decapitating Jupiter. Then we have them continuously holding off War Curry, I think 2 times. Then after that, Omo and Kashi straight up tackle Ethan Bear and Venus Duro in his horse form. And then afterwards, I believe 3 giants, unnamed, simultaneously hold off Mars's fire blast onto the ship. Although it does F them up really hard. I think Luffy ends up getting blasted by that too, and then that's when Luffy, Bonnie, Frankie, and Sanji do their like combination attack, which again required Luffy to be kind of giant and Bonnie to almost go kind of giant, and so that's like, you know, 2 people almost giant makes almost, you know, 1/2 giant. We'll say half a giant yeeted one Gorosei. Then the rest of the giants made playthings of the rest of the Gorosei for literally the escape of Egghead. If there were casualties, I guess it would just be the 3 giants that got lit on fire by Mars, but they didn't seem to be in bad spirits after escaping. They didn't talk about any casualties. Again, to just go in with the strength, like, that means that like a basic giant holding a hammer and smacking it down into the water is probably taking out like 5 or 6 Marine battleships, let alone a giant with hockey, let alone a giant with really well-trained battle prowess. I don't even know how you would call the Hakoku sovereignty. Like, what even is that? Is that a projection of armament hockey leaving the blade, or is that just like pure amazingness? Like, you know how Zoro just throws his, like, he cuts air and then like it makes like a flying blade slash? Like, is that, you know, do all giants just come with a Hakoku sovereignty if they need to? Like, that's a really devastating attack. So let's say at worst only Dory and Bragi have access to that attack on their whole crew, and that's what, you know, separates them from the rest of the crew. That's still enough. Just Dory and Bragi having enough time to comfortably charge up a Hakoku sovereignty, that's going to, I mean, like, come on, that's going to take out most, if not all, of a Buster Call, unless a Vice Admiral is Zoro level, you know, able to tank that attack and deal with the wicked backlash Zoro suffered. Remember, they had to write in a whole plot line in Wano just to get Zoro back onto the battlefield after taking that attack. So any Vice Admiral taking that attack, I assume, is just getting crumpled. Maybe even if they protect the whole fleet, that dude is going to be a memory afterwards. Put him on a shirt in memory of whatever Vice Admiral you want. But yeah, to me, the relative strength of a Viking or a giant, one weakling giant, is so much more than what the world government can offer. Therein lies the problem that the world government has with the giant pirates, and that's why the giant pirates, obviously, they're just doing whatever the fuck they please. The fact that Hajrudin just went and joined Buggy's crew and left, like, he joined it, he left, 0 ramifications, you know what I mean? Nobody, you know, he said, hey, Buggy, goodbye, Buggy, and Buggy just sat there like, yeah, sure thing, guys. Like, what was Buggy gonna do? Stop them? You know? So that, it brings back that picture Big Mom showed of her with all the giants. Like, imagine if, like, Whitebeard, Oars Jr., and a line of, like, maybe 10 giants were at Marineford. I believe things would be going a lot differently, right? Now, Gecko Moria and Doflamingo made quick work of Oars Jr., but, like, would they be doing that with 10 extra giants in the way? Especially if that giant line was able to just collide with the giant line the world government had. Because even then, you see, they brought giants that they had, you know, from childhood, you know, stolen childhoods and whatnot. They brought them to Marineford because giants are superior to most people. Although they lost to Whitebeard, that's Whitebeard. You know what I mean? The regular giants were fine until Whitebeard touched them. So it was just a matter of time that they were getting schooled by Whitebeard. But they were still crushing all of Whitebeard's pirates. Even the Pacifista, they're Buccaneer, and that's like half giant, more or less. We don't really know exactly what the Buccaneer nonsense is, but Ivankov says you giant blood. So they're either partial giant or half giant. So Kuma's like 30 feet tall. All the Pacifistas are like 30 feet tall, and they have lasers. So giant laser robots, that's, you know what I mean? That's a mini force right there that the world government is using to play at having a giant army. Now, how many giants does it take to beat all the Pacifista? I'm not too sure, because they kind of made it so that the giants and the Pacifista didn't interact at Egghead Island. Go back and check. They really don't. Probably due to the Kuma factor and the Bonnie factor and all that, but I would say giants versus Pacifista, depending on how many giants are able to deal with lasers, Pacifista may come out on top. However, the minute the giants get close, or, you know, you have my man, the short giant that just has 2 pistols that literally look like big cannons on sticks, I genuinely think that the giants, they outclass everyone when it comes to a straight up pirate crew fight, war fight, battle, whatever you want. Like, any confrontation with just an army of the giants who are talented with hockey, maybe, you know, armament, observation, whatever, and you just maybe need to have 1 or 2 of them with a devil fruit, and it's kind of a wrap, right? I'm wondering, what do you think? Tell me down below. Do you have anyone that you think right now, and bring up Yonko if you need to, but who is capable of contending with what we've seen at Egghead Island attack from the current giant warrior pirates? Anyways, I'm Merch Hunter Ricky. I think that the giant pirates would absolutely shit on the world government. It just wouldn't even be a contest, and that's why they're so against them, That's what that line between Saturn and the giants was, like, oh, Nika and the giants, we cannot let that happen, Anyways, have a good night.